the Ice Princess and the Snowflake Garden. Far beyond the mountains, where the wind whispers ancient lullabies, there exists a kingdom made entirely of ice and starlight. In this magical realm, where the aurora dances across velvet skies and crystals sing in harmony with the breeze, lives Princess Crystalline, the Ice Princess. She has hair as white as fresh snow, eyes that sparkle like frozen dewdrops catching moonlight, and a gown woven from the finest frost that shimmers with every color imaginable when the light touches it just right. Princess Crystalline has a very special responsibility, one that she cherishes more than all the treasures in her ice palace. Every evening, as twilight paints the sky in shades of purple and silver, she walks through her enchanted snowflake garden, a place of wonder where magic blooms as freely as flowers in spring. But this garden doesn't grow ordinary blossoms. Instead, it grows snowflakes, millions and millions of unique, delicate snowflakes, each one different from all the others, each one created with love and purpose. The snowflake garden stretches as far as the eye can see, filled with crystalline bushes that tinkle like wind chimes and ice flower trees whose branches reach toward the stars. The ground beneath Princess Crystalline's feet gleams like polished glass, reflecting the soft glow of luminescent snow roses that light her path. When she walks, her footsteps make no sound at all, only leaving behind tiny sparkles that fade like wishes whispered into the night. Tonight, as the first stars begin to appear in the darkening sky, Princess Crystalline opens the silver gate to her garden. The gate is decorated with intricate patterns of frost, spirals and swirls that seem to dance when you look at them. She takes a deep breath of the crisp, clean air, and her breath forms a small cloud that glitters before disappearing. "It's time," she whispers to herself with a gentle smile. "Time to help everyone sleep peacefully and warmly tonight." She begins her evening walk along the garden's winding paths, her fingers trailing along the ice flower bushes. As she touches each plant, it releases tiny snowflakes into the air, some shaped like stars, some like intricate lace, some like tiny spinning wheels of frost. The snowflakes hover in the air around her, waiting, as if they know they have important work to do. Princess Crystalline reaches a special grove, where a magnificent tree grows, its branches made of pure silver ice. This is the heart tree of the Snowflake Garden, and from its branches hang thousands of tiny crystal bells. When the princess gently touches the trunk, the bells begin to chime with the softest, most soothing melody imaginable. This music drifts out from the garden, carried on gentle winds to all the creatures of the forest below. In the forest at the base of the Ice Kingdom's mountains, a family of rabbits has already begun to settle into their cozy burrow. The mother rabbit, whose name is Velvet, has tucked her 3 little ones, Cotton, Clover, and Cloud, into their nest of soft grass and moss. But the night is cold, and even in their warm burrow, the little rabbits shiver slightly. Princess Crystalline sees this through her magical garden, for the Snowflake Garden shows her all the creatures who need her help. She kneels beside a patch of frost lilies and begins to work her magic. She holds her hands out, palms facing upward, and closes her eyes. A soft blue light begins to glow around her fingers, and slowly, carefully, a snowflake begins to form in the space between her hands. This is no ordinary snowflake. Princess Crystalline shapes it with thoughts of warmth and comfort, weaving into its crystalline structure all the coziness of a mother's embrace, all the gentleness of a soft blanket, all the peace of a quiet lullaby. The snowflake grows larger, its 6 points extending into elaborate patterns of breathtaking beauty. It looks like a tiny work of art, a miniature castle made of ice, or perhaps a star that has decided to dance. When the snowflake is complete, Princess Crystalline opens her eyes and breathes on it gently. The snowflake begins to float upward, glowing with a warm, golden light. Yes, warm, even though it's made of ice and frost. This is the special magic of the snowflake garden. These snowflakes don't bring cold, they bring comfort. The princess watches as the snowflake drifts out of the garden and down, down, down toward the forest below. It floats through the evening air like a tiny dancer, spinning and twirling as it descends. When it reaches the rabbit burrow, it gently settles over the entrance, growing larger and softer as it spreads. It transforms into a blanket of the most delicate, shimmering frost, sealing in the warmth and keeping out the cold wind. The little rabbits, Cotton, Clover, and Cloud immediately stop shivering. They snuggle closer together, their tiny noses twitching contentedly, and drift into peaceful dreams. Princess Crystalline smiles, her heart filling with joy. This is what she loves most, helping creatures rest safely and warmly through the night. She continues her walk through the snowflake garden, and soon she comes upon a grove of ice willows, their drooping branches creating curtains of frozen strands that chime when the breeze moves through them. Beneath one of these willows, she pauses. Her garden is showing her another creature in need, a young deer named Bramble, who has curled up beneath a hollow log in the forest. Bramble is alone tonight, his mother having gone to search for food, and though he tries to be brave, he feels a little frightened in the darkness. Princess Crystalline sits down on a bench made of carved ice, so smooth and comfortable it feels like sitting on a cloud. She begins to create another snowflake, but this one is different from the first. As she shapes the frost between her fingers, she thinks of courage and safety, of the feeling you get when you know someone is watching over you, protecting you. This snowflake takes on a different pattern. Its arms reach out like the protective branches of an ancient oak tree, and at its center glows a small, steady light like a nightlight in a child's bedroom. When this snowflake is ready, she sends it floating down to Bramble. It drifts through the forest, weaving between trees and under branches until it finds the young deer. The snowflake settles over him like a canopy, and immediately the darkness around Bramble doesn't seem quite so dark anymore. The gentle light from the snowflake casts soft shadows that look friendly rather than frightening. Bramble lets out a small sigh of relief, closes his eyes, and falls asleep, dreaming of running through meadows in warm sunshine. Hour after hour, Princess Crystalline continues her work. She walks deeper into the snowflake garden, visiting every corner, touching every ice flower and frost fern. She creates snowflakes for a family of field mice huddled in a nest woven from wheat stalks, giving them a blanket that keeps them toasty warm despite the winter wind. She makes a special snowflake for an elderly badger named Grey Whisker, who has aching bones. This snowflake carries with it the comfort of a warm fire and the soothing feeling of pain melting away. In a tree near the edge of the forest, a family of owls' parents named Hoot and Whisper and their 3 owlets, Feather, Wing, and Sky, are settling into their nest. Even though owls are night creatures, these particular owls are very young and still learning to hunt, so they spend much of the night resting between their short practice flights. Princess Crystalline creates a snowflake that looks like a shield, decorated with patterns of protecting wings. This snowflake keeps the harsh wind from disturbing their nest, allowing the owl family to rest peacefully between their lessons. She even helps the tiniest creatures. A caterpillar named Stripe has spun himself into a chrysalis, hanging from a branch where he will transform into a beautiful butterfly come spring. Princess Crystalline creates the most delicate snowflake of all for him, one so light and fine it looks like it might disappear if you breathed on it. This snowflake wraps around the chrysalis like a cocoon within a cocoon, keeping Stripe safe and at just the right temperature for his magical transformation. As Princess Crystalline works, creating snowflake after snowflake, the garden itself seems to sing. The crystal bells in the trees chime their lullaby, the ice flowers glow more brightly, and the aurora overhead swirls in patterns that match the snowflakes she creates. The whole kingdom celebrates the work she does, the care she shows for every living creature, no matter how small or large. Finally, as the moon reaches its highest point in the sky, Princess Crystalline comes to the very center of her garden. Here stands a fountain made entirely of ice, but instead of water, it flows with liquid starlight that never freezes. She dips her hands into the starlight, and it clings to her fingers like honey, glowing and warm. With this starlight, she creates one final, enormous snowflake, the Master Snowflake, she calls it. This one isn't for any particular creature, it's for the whole world. She shapes it carefully, making it larger than all the others, with patterns so intricate they could keep you looking at them for hours, and you'd still discover new details. Into this snowflake, she weaves thoughts of peace, of love, of safety, and of sweet dreams. When it's complete, she releases it into the sky, and it rises up, 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 until it hangs suspended above the forest like a second moon, casting its gentle light over all the sleeping creatures below. Every animal who had been restless becomes still. Every creature who had been cold becomes warm. Every being who had been worried finds peace. The entire forest, and indeed all the lands beyond that Princess Crystalline's magic can reach, settles into the deepest, most restful sleep imaginable. Satisfied with her work, Princess Crystalline walks back through her garden toward her ice palace. As she goes, the snowflake plants seem to bow their heads in gratitude, and the crystal bells play a softer tune now, one meant just for her, thanking her for her nightly dedication. She climbs the steps to her palace, each step carved with images of snowflakes she has created over the years, thousands and thousands of different designs, no two ever the same. Inside her palace, everything is quiet and peaceful. Her own bedroom is simple but beautiful, with a bed made of the softest snow that never melts, pillows stuffed with downy frost, and blankets woven from aurora light. She changes into her sleeping gown, which looks like moonlight made into fabric, and sits by her window for a moment, looking out over the forest below. She can see her snowflakes still glowing gently, scattered across the landscape like fallen stars, each one doing its job of keeping someone warm, safe, and comfortable. This sight fills her heart with contentment. This is her purpose, her gift, her joy, to help others rest peacefully through the night. Princess Crystalline climbs into her bed, and as soon as her head touches the pillow, she too begins to drift off to sleep. The crystal bells in her garden play their lullaby just for her now, and the stars seem to shine a little brighter, watching over their friend who watches over so many others. And in the morning, when the sun rises and melts the magical snowflakes away, no one will remember seeing them, but everyone will wake, feeling wonderfully rested, mysteriously content, and grateful for the best sleep they've ever had. And Princess Crystalline will smile in her sleep, knowing that tonight, when darkness falls again, she'll return to her snowflake garden and do it all over again, because that's what love does. It keeps giving night after night, snowflake after snowflake, dream after dream. Now, as you lie in your bed tonight, imagine that Princess Crystalline has created a special snowflake just for you. Can you picture it floating down from the sky, spinning and dancing as it comes closer and closer? It's the most beautiful snowflake you've ever seen, with patterns that remind you of all your favorite things. As it settles over you, you feel a warmth spread through your whole body, starting at your toes and moving up through your legs, your tummy, your chest, your arms, and all the way to the top of your head. You're safe, you're warm, you're loved. Princess Crystalline is watching over you from her garden far away, making sure you have the sweetest dreams and the most peaceful sleep. Let yourself sink into your soft bed, let your muscles relax, let your breathing become slow and steady. Your eyelids are growing heavy, so heavy, and it feels good to let them close. Drift now, like a snowflake floating on a gentle breeze, down into the land of dreams where anything is possible and everything is wonderful. Princess Crystalline's magic is all around you, wrapping you in comfort and peace. Good night, little one. Sleep tight.